Hello, my friends. Jacob is here once again. Happy Sunday to you. I know you missed me. I got your comments saying, where were you Thursday? Where were you Friday? I had a lot of stuff going on. Ethan was in the hospital. He had croup. It was really scary. They call it steepling, and he was really close, but we brought him, and they got him good, and then the next day, had to bring him again, and it was really good. But then my older boys, Noah and Anthony, they decided they were going to go play pond hockey because they're big hockey players, and so they went to the pond, and of course, Dan was all worried. Dan was saying, be careful. You don't want anybody to fall in, and we're like, guys, be extra careful. And they were playing, and guess what? I put it on Twitter, if you saw it on Twitter. If you're not following me on Twitter, okay? My son, Noah, hero, that's right. As they're playing hockey on the other side of the ice, where it was like a little more shallow and everyone was supposed to stay away, I guess some 12-year-old kid decided that he was going to go over there and try to chase after something. And he ended up falling in. Everybody else frozen in fear, but my boy, my Noah, my firstborn, rushed over and grabbed the kid, pulled him out, saved the day. That's pretty good moment, good moment when a lot of other crazy stuff was coming our way and coming at us and trying to keep us from being happy, like one thing after another. I've talked to a couple of people, and I hear that they're finding they're overwhelming obstacles, and they're being overrun with a bunch of negative thoughts, and and then they're having fights with people, and all sorts of craziness I hear is going on. It's happening in my life too, so I'm aware of it. See, that's the thing, is you got to be aware of it, because if you're aware that perhaps like there's kind of a negative energy, a darkness, evil, okay? The spooky stuff that increases in the world, while also the truth of love and life and joy and Christ is brought back into the world once again. That's the day we're in. We're in a day of darkness and light, right? We're in a day where they call it the end days, where men are lovers of themselves, they're boasters, they're proud, they're blasphemous, families are divided, and of course, look at the way the world is today. It's kind of hard not to see that maybe things aren't that holy, right? So it's going to take people like you and I to bring that truth back into the land again, and because a new day is upon us, right? A new life. Remember I told you about the fig tree? Not that that's like the gauge or anything, but that this the fig tree that I brought in. Well, guess what? There's like there's a leaf on every single branch now. It's like it's a beautiful thing, and if that's symbolic of the truth that's in all of us, waiting to be born again, because Christ comes again, ercheme, which means to be revealed, to be manifest, to be once again heralded on high. That's going to be, I think that's the day that we're in. But as that happens, we're also seeing in the natural world as things like, Jerusalem's being, it's now heralded as the capital, and you see all of this symbolic, and they say it's prophetic stuff playing out in the Holy Land. All you got to do is watch a couple of my old shows. A couple of the other shows that I've done. I've done like a list of them. I even got somebody who sent me a comment, said, Jacob, it's interesting. Jonathan Kahn was just talking about you, and sent me this link, which was great. And then I got it from another person too, which is just quite bizarre, where he was talking about how Israel is going to become established in the land. And that's the day that we're in. It's the day that we're in, right? Whereas if you know anything about the story, you suffered, you struggled, you've been through it, you paid your debt, right? And now it's time to become established in the land, established in your home, established in your heart, to understand who you are. Okay, so before I get all, because I'm excited about sharing this with you, because I've noticed that things are getting hard for a lot of people. But I also see in the news things like this. An eagle-eyed art trader, in Australia, saw this painting, and turns out it was like a Flemish master, and there was a painting underneath the painting. So basically, the artist originally wanted this vibrant, life-filled picture of Christ showing off his wounds. But the way the world was, they wanted that covered up. They wanted you to be ashamed of the things you went through, wanted you to be down about who you've been. They didn't want you to be proud of all you've been through and all you've overcome. They don't want to see you filled with joy. No, they said, cover that up. Make that painting dark. And that's what's happened in the land, right? Is that the truth of Christ, symbolically and metaphorically speaking, was hidden beneath another layer, a lie, covered up. And then so I see in this painting, which, by the way, sold for like $400,000. The Flemish master John Sanders van Hamasan is believed to be the artist. The powerful rendition of the painted figure is monumentally and idiosyncratic color scheme, along with the technical prowess of Christ's portrayal, all point to his work in the mid-1500s, Sotheby says, thus making this a mature and significant picture of the high Renaissance and Flemish painting. But I see it as darkness is increasing in the land, the Christ that was painted originally is finally being revealed. Been hidden under something, okay? And what's it been hidden under, okay? Your flesh, who you think you are. Now this is where the show gets interesting, because I don't even know if any of this stuff that I'm saying is true. It feels true to me, feels right to me, as I'm looking at everything and I'm looking at life like this big painting, and I'm trying to understand what God, if you will, is telling me and where I should go. I'm realizing that the day that we're in right now, it's so important for us to become kinder and gentler and more humble and more patient and more long-suffering and loving. Above all else, loving, because the truth of who we are is about to be revealed. So that day, so you're no longer ashamed of where you've been, you're no longer ashamed of what you've been through, you're no longer covering yourself up like Adam and Eve when they left the garden. It's a picture of, you thought that you were terrible, so you had to cover yourself up. But now you see the revealed picture of Christ. Proud of those wounds. Look at all I've been through. I was just telling Noah, I was just telling my son, after this beautiful day, this thing where he's a hero, where I always told him he was a hero. He doesn't know, but he's going to know it, right? Because everybody has a calling and a purpose in their life. He saved this child. I mean, I don't even know if I would have that courage, because it was obviously incredibly dangerous. And then, of course, what happens? It's very simple for you to have these beautiful moments and then have a bunch of negative nonsense come. Argument with your brother, maybe argument with this or argument with that. So I explained to him, I said, it's simple. We have to learn to test the spirits that come to us. And what is a spirit? Jesus said, my words are spirit, my words are truth. So you have to test the thoughts. The things that you're thinking, you have to test to see if they are true. And how do we know this? Well, God doesn't give us the spirit of fear. And when we get angry, it's because we're afraid. We're afraid that people think the worst of us. We're afraid that we're never going to get ahead. We're afraid this is fear. This is accusation. But that new painting is revealed. And what needs to be taken out of the way? I'd said this earlier, right? Well, guess what? There's a cathedral. That is growing mystery mold. Right? Okay. So mold it's like the stuff of nightmares. So you got this black mold growing all up and down this cathedral in Portugal. The 8th century old Sevilla de Coimbra, the old cathedral of Coimbra, is the only, you like the way I did that? Coimbra. The only surviving Romanesque cathedral in Portugal, and it's being slowly devoured by a type of black mold that scientists say has never been seen before. There's a new black mold attacking the cathedral. We're in the new day when there's a lot of negative stuff that's going to come against us. And the best part is, if we forgive and if we love and if we test those spirits to see if they're true, then we're going to be able to walk above the waters and the lies and the seas of the world. We're going to be able to walk above our problems. We're going to be able to be up here while everybody else is going down here. This mold, right? So I see this and I say, I got to do a live stream about this because this is just interesting. Because when I went to go find out what the definition of mold is, I get this. And interesting. Like a mold. It's like a Russian doll I have back here in the background, right? One thing after another, okay? It's like a mold. A mold is, so there's something that's been hidden is covered by this mold. And the mold is destroying the cathedral.
Can I get an amen?
Scientists at the university scraped samples of the mold off the limestone sculptures in Santa Maria Chapel of the cathedral. After genetic analysis, the researchers have determined that the mold was something they've never seen before. So then I think to myself, well, that's interesting, because if the light, right, if the light is needs to be shining brighter, that must mean that the darkness is ever increasing. And then guess what I find? Okay? This is crazy. It's right. A recent study suggests that dark energy strength is increasing. Dark energies. What the? Huh? What? Dark energy? You know, that stuff that remember a little while ago, I did a video on the dark matter hurricane. Go back and see it. I'll try to link it at the end. If not, just look up dark matter, Jacob Israel, you'll find it. But that hurricane that came at us, and I had said that get ready for a time when there's going to be you're going to deal with a lot of negativity. Right? And it's like, I feel like it's the YouTube once again squeezing down, right? And yet here you all are. My videos are going to be fine. Everything that I'm sharing is going to be fine, right? Because all of us are going to be, it's going to go where it needs to go. Where the light shines is going to be revealed. The painting that's covering the painting is going to be taken away. The layer, the fig leaves, everything that's kept the truth of who you are hidden is going to be revealed because you're seeking more than what this world has to offer. Expansion of the universe is accelerating every single day. The distances between galaxies grows even greater. And what's more, the expansion rate is getting faster and faster. They don't understand why. They don't understand why that all of a sudden the time is speeding up. Well, guess what? The scriptures say that that's going to happen. Things are going to happen. That he's going to make a quick work of things. That's the thing. That's the coming to the knowledge of the stature of the perfect man and the truth. That's what's going down. That's what's going down. So of course you're going to see some negative stuff too. In the book of John, it says the light shines in darkness and darkness perceives it not, understands it not. The light is the truth of God, right? So truth is it's the Christ that's been hidden. And the darkness doesn't understand it, can't comprehend it. How could it comprehend it if it's been hidden? But today's the day when it's not hidden anymore. See a lot of darkness in the land, right? So of course, what Nicki Minaj, what she got out now? She's the queen of the damned now, right? Queen of the darkness. She's got a new video. All of a sudden, and it's like spooky stuff too. Just spooky. It's all just so spooky. But as that's happening, there's something else that's taking place within, and that's what I'm excited about. It's like the Russian doll, one layer. What's inside? There's a great chapter in Romans, in chapter 9. Let me just read this to you. I don't have it memorized. Nay, but, O man, who art thou that replies against God? It's kind of like, when hard times come, why are you saying to God, like, yo, what are you doing? What are you doing to me? Why can't I have my car start? I need my car to start. That's what happened too. It's like one thing after another thing. What are you doing? Come on. Who are you to say that? Don't you understand that everything's working together for your good? Shall the thing that is formed say to him that has formed it, what are you making me like this for? Right? Why do I got to go through all this? Why do my children have to go through what they have to go through? Why do my friends have to go through what they have to go through? Why do I have to go through what I have to go through? Why? Because there's a purpose to it. Everything that I've endured, everything that I've gone through has brought me to this point. Those feelings of self-worth and loneliness and hating myself and thinking that, there has to be more. I just decided that I was going to seek it, and guess what? I found it. And when I found it, I realized that just like Jacob returning to the land, thank you, Jonathan Kahn, for saying so, now I'm being established in the land, in my home, in my life, in my faith, in a way that I've never experienced before. That's why I'm so excited, because I feel like there is this thing going on. But this mold that's destroying the cathedral, it's like it's got to be scraped away, right? But the problem is there's a symbol in this. It's the literal interpretation of what a church is. It's the letter that kills, but it's the spirit that is what gives life. So if you can look at these little things that are happening in the news, and maybe they're not related, and maybe they're not, intrinsically linked with Christ and with God and with faith. If you look at them and you can see the signs of the times, you can understand what's going on inside. There's a mold, right? What is a mold? It's who you think you are, and it's destroying the cathedral. You are this beautiful, precious thing. You are the temple of God. You are supposed to be one with God. That's what Jesus prayed for, that they may be one as I am one. Not my will, not how I want it done, but your will, because we are intrinsically linked. That's why you have to love others. It's important to love. Hath the power of the potter over the clay, over the same lump, to make one vessel unto dishonor, then another to honor. In other words, you think the bad people that are in your life are so terrible? You don't think God can do that? You don't think he can make bad people to get you to get to a place where you can forgive them and be kind and love? And then that in your loving and your forgiving of them, that they can then to have their hearts turned. Were you not once estranged from the love of God? Were you not once cruel and hateful? And did you not hate yourself? And now that you're free, it's one of those things. It's like now we need to be there for everybody else. Now we need to be lights in the world. You can do that by taking the things that I say here, going and seeking the truth no matter what the cost, going to God, not man, but going to the source of everything and then sharing that. Or you can just share the videos around, which would be great too, because then they can do it on their own. It's a good thing.
Please hit the subscribe button, share around, check the bell, like it, comment, do all that stuff. Thank you.
But listen to what it says over here towards the end. I will call them my people who were not my people. And I will call them beloved, which were not beloved. And it shall come to pass that in that place where it said unto them, you are not my people, there shall they be called the children of the living God. You know how many people, how many pastors, how many rabbis, how many imams are going to say to you that you don't know nothing about God because you don't come to my church, you don't go to my temple, you don't go do this, all right? People are going to say to you that you're not the children of God. And in that day, you are going to be called the children of God because that's what you are. That's what you are. And you've been estranged from that because you've forgotten who you are, because there's a bunch of mold. It's a mold that's destroying the cathedral. That's why Isaiah cried concerning Israel, though the number of the children of Israel be as the sand of the sea, a remnant shall be saved, for he will finish the work, and check this out, and cut it short in righteousness, because a short work will the Lord make upon the earth. Short. Things are speeding up. Hope you're excited. And I love each and every one of you. I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.